From Storm Tracker 6, this is Forecast First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Good morning, Mid-Michigan. We're waking up to temperatures into the 50s with a few clouds in some spots, but here in the Lansing area, we're looking at 52 degrees, and in Grand Ledge as well, 50 degrees in Hills, Jackson, 57 down into Hillsdale. We still have some moderate air quality, so it is going to look a little bit hazy for the day today overall. We're still seeing mostly clear skies, maybe a few showers trying to bubble up here or there, but over the next 12 hours, we'll continue to see a mix of clouds and sunshine before more clouds move in later this afternoon into this evening, with the chance for some rain showers as well. I'll have the full details coming up in just a little bit. 6 News This Morning starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News This Morning.
Well, good morning, Mid-Michigan, and thank you for waking up with us. It's Saturday, June 7th. I'm Dalen Huff. Karina has the day off, and we're here for you now with this morning's top stories. We start this morning with a legal case of a man who was mistakenly deported to a prison in El Salvador earlier this year. He's now back on U.S. soil. The case of Kilmar Abrigo Garcia has raised constitutional questions about the Trump administration's use of power. But Abrigo Garcia is now facing new federal charges. Bradley Blackburn has more.
Kilmar Abrigo Garcia has been brought back to the U.S. from El Salvador to face new charges he conspired to operate an MS-13 trafficking ring.
You got a bunch of people here, don't you?
Transporting undocumented Central American migrants into the U.S.
The grand jury found that over the past 9 years, Abrigo Garcia has played a significant role in an alien smuggling ring. They found this was his full-time job. Not a contractor. He was a smuggler of humans and children and women.
The charges are the latest twist in a case that has twisted Washington. In March, the 29-year-old was flown to a notorious prison in his native El Salvador in what the White House later admitted was a mistake. But for months, the Trump administration refused to correct it, despite a Supreme Court order to facilitate his return.
Nothing will change the fact that Abrigo Garcia will never be a Maryland father. He will never live in the United States of America again.
Friday night, President Trump was asked about the return.
He should have never had to be returned.
Abrigo Garcia appeared in federal court in Tennessee Friday. His attorneys say they will fight the new charges vigorously.
What happened today is the exact opposite of due process, because due process means the opportunity to defend yourself before you're punished, not afterwards.
Abrigo Garcia is set to be back in court again next week. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Continuing with the national politics, we want to bring you a closer look at the budget bill and its effects on Michigan. As it stands, the president, quote, big, beautiful bill will have an impact on almost every part of the state. Starting off with the Great Lakes, the Army Corps of Engineers would have to scale back their dredging projects because of the Arbor Maintenance Fund will be reduced by about $1 billion. At the same time, the bill would fund multi-billion-dollar projects in Lake Michigan to keep invasive carp out of the Great Lakes and more money towards a second shipping lock in Sault Ste. Marie. But other parts of the state, the bill would cut federal assistance programs for low-income families trying to cover their heating bills and take away $2 billion worth of tax credits for advanced manufacturing. These changes haven't been finalized yet, but the debate over the final version of the bill is expected to continue next week in Washington. And staying in Washington, a new executive order issued to the FAA would revolutionize the way drones are regulated. President Trump signed a group of 3 orders yesterday that will make it easier to work with and research the newest technologies like supersonic drones and flying cars. The first executive order instructs the FAA to make it easier for companies to operate drones without a direct line of sight that would make it possible for a farmer to survey multiple fields from his office without needing to walk outside or look up in the air. But the president also instructs the Department of Homeland Security to keep a closer eye on the possibility of drones being used as weapons. Recent attacks in Ukraine used drones you could buy off the shelf at electronic stores. And now the U.S. military is looking at its own threat exposure. We take you now to Wall Street, where this week of trading brought the markets closer to record highs despite the ongoing fears of a trade war. The good numbers for investors were good because the numbers from the most recent job report, which indicates the economy is doing well, even with all the current volatility. U.S. officials will meet with Chinese delegations on Monday in London for the next round of trade negotiations between Washington and Beijing. And right here in mid-Michigan, in Brooklyn, many NASCAR fans raced to the area campgrounds this weekend ahead of the races, hoping to see their favorite driver take home the cup. 6 News Jackson reporter Sean Graney spoke with campers that set up near the speedway and tells us why some of them have been showing off their support for decades.
Here at Michigan International Speedway, thousands of racing fans from across the country have come to Brooklyn, bringing high energy to this weekend's NASCAR showdown.
NASCAR 2025!
The NASCAR Cup Series is back in mid-Michigan.
What's cool about NASCAR compared to any other sport, everybody can have their own favorite.
And campers have gone all out for this year's annual trip to the track.
My favorite part is the campfire when everybody's sitting around and we're all just relaxing, enjoying and discussing what happened at the track that day.
Camper Lou Varos has been going to the Cup Series with his racing community for 38 years.
My father brought me here to MIS in 1969, and I've been coming ever since.
Dave Sibley, also in the group, collects racing plates each year, which now has become a tradition.
And I started buying the plates of my favorite drivers, throwing them on cars as they came around, and then I just kept them. Even though the drivers would retire, I kept them.
Sibley says the best part of the weekend isn't the race itself, but rather the time spent with the racing community.
You can just relax when you come here, and everybody's a big family. It's all one big family. Everybody's got your back no matter what's going on in your life.
NASCAR 2025 is set to continue with the Craftsman Truck Series at noon and the Cup Series Sunday at 2 p.m. Here for you in Brooklyn, Sean Graney, 6 News.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather on the Sixes, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
Honestly, if you're heading over to some racing this weekend, you're going to have some very nice weather. We're going to be seeing some sunny skies for today, and then eventually possibility for some rain showers moving in on Sunday. Otherwise, we'll still see some very comfortable conditions for today. We're seeing temperatures into the 50s right now, 52 degrees in Lansing, 53 in Mason, 50 degrees in Jackson, and 55 degrees down into Hillsdale. Satellite radar is showing some quiet conditions, and we're going to continue to see those quiet conditions throughout the day. Maybe just a little bit of some clouds trying to work their way in. As we head into tonight, clouds will start to increase. If you're heading outside today, make sure you do wear the sunscreen or a hat or sunglasses, as our UV index is very high today, around an 8, which means that you can get burned in around 15 to 20 minutes at most. So for today, we'll continue to see mostly sunny skies around 78 degrees, which is pretty close to average, if not a degree warmer than average, and we'll continue to see some very nice weather for today. Like I mentioned, we might see a little bit of some chances of some showers closer to the state line later tonight, so I think we're still going to stay dry. It isn't until tomorrow that we see a little bit better chance for some rain showers, and it's going to be mainly tomorrow afternoon. Okay. So fingers crossed that the race can get in, or at least a couple of laps, so that they don't go into a rain delay.
I hope so. Well, thank you so much, Kelsey.